Okay, we're out here at a ridiculously hot day and ridiculously dry. Okay, this is expansive clay soil. We're in Texas. Okay, expansive clay soil. When it gets dry like this, it cracks. This is what it does. When it gets moist, it's all going to come back together. It moves that much. Okay, and then we should never let our soil get so dry that it cracks and that it cracks and pulls away from the foundation perimeter. So we're on the south side of the house. We're going counterclockwise. Okay, so we're on the house faces west, so we're on the east side of the fence. And we come up here and we see our roof covering. We see our, okay, you got your roof covering and that band of metal right underneath your roof covering. That band of metal is called drip edge flashing, and sometimes it's rake edge flashing. And it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be lapped a minimum of 2 inches. And there's few places around the perimeter of this house where that's kind of questionable. Come over here. This is a control joint. Some people call it expansion joints. Call it what you will. Okay, but we don't expect to have this much brick and not have some movement. Alright? So we put these joints in here, like the joints in the street, because we're on expansive clay soil. We expect this. But over here, the control joint didn't go all the way up. And so if we look at the cracks in the brick right here, we can see the brick is making its own control joint. Okay, now our lintels, okay, they hold up. These are called weep holes. We're supposed to have these. Okay, brick is a very good building material. This house could burn down and you could reuse the brick. Okay, but it's just a facade. This is actually a wood house. And there's a gap between the brick and the drainage plane. We've got a vapor barrier, a vapor retardant that is on the wall, and then we have a space, and then we have our bricks. And so, as good of a building material as brick is, as good of an insulator as brick is, okay, it's porous. When water hits it, it runs right through it. And so we have these weep holes, and these weep holes allow for the moisture to leave. Now, most of the time it's going to be water vapor. You're not going to see anything unless you have an event. I hope you don't. I've seen a couple of events, and if it comes to this, water will come out of these weep holes. But most of the time it's vapor. When we come over here and we put this window in here, we've disrupted the drainage plane. So we have these metal, okay, lintels that go across here, and then we have weep holes above our lintels. So we got weep holes above our lintels, but that weep hole doesn't look like it goes all the way through, does it? Does it? It doesn't look like it goes all the way through to me. And so our lintels are rusting. And when lintels rust, they expand. And we have our control joint here. And we've got stair-step cracks between the brick and mortar. This is the hall bathroom window. We've got stair-step cracks between the brick and mortar. Right there. That should be sealed, resealed. And it's been going a while. I don't know what's happening here, but every window, and I itemized them, but every window's got gaps around them, and which should be sealed to keep the water from going in there. Our screens are showing signs of their age. They're about 7 years old, and they kind of look it. They're not going to last that much longer, I got to tell you. So this is a post-tension slab foundation. So what happened is when they placed the concrete, they had cables run out, steel cables, and then as the concrete was drying, okay, then they tightened it a ridiculous amount to make it that much stronger. But our form boards, our pocket nails are still right here. These rusty nails, that's a tetanus shot. And then you can see the end of the cable right there. That needs to be smoothed over too, because when steel rusts, not only does it expand, but it also becomes compromised. So those nails should have been cut off, and that should have been sealed up right there where you got all that exposed aggregate. It should look smooth like this over here. So there's that. I'm kind of moving on around. This is a perfect example. Some people call these corner pops. Corner pops. But those are shrinkage cracks. Because believe it or not, your brick is the only part of your house that actually grows. You will never be able to measure it, but the brick actually grows. And the concrete is continuously drying. It takes 60 years for the concrete to dry, so it's continuously shrinking. And in the meantime, the brick is expanding and contracting at different rates than the foundation because they're different materials. So they're expanding and contracting at different rates and continuously moving in different directions, and the pressure comes out on the corner. Now this corner only exists, I haven't made up my mind about the foundation. We're going to look at it. But if I, for better or worse, good or bad, this shrinkage crack is not going to factor in to my evaluation of the foundation. It might hold a brick up, okay, so it might be a brick issue, and it's going to be on your termite report, not this one so much, because it's popped out, corner pop. But the other ones that are just cracked, well, that's conducive to wood destroying insects. It's conducive to termites, because termites have to stay in direct contact with the ground, and they're blind, and so they go places where they know people can't see. They've got an equal playing ground, and they'll come through these little cracks on the corner, and they'll migrate up into the structure. This is a weak spot. This is a weak spot right here. Moving on along. Again, this is going to... My clients are coming from Chicago, I believe. This is going to... No, they're coming from Colorado, excuse me. But anyway, wherever they're coming from, they might not have seen this. This could have some shock value. Now, yes, the water needs to be watered. The foundation needs to be watered. Yes, you don't have any grass. Yes, this is not an ideal situation. But this is geographically typical, because this is where we are looking. We got solar, okay, solar energy. It's beyond the scope of this inspection. I don't know what to tell you about it. You know, so do some diligence, get your research done. All these lintels are rusting. That one looks like it's got a real lintel hole. All these windows have gaps around them. Okay, that should be sealed. This one right here, that other window I was talking about, happened to be the hall bathroom window. This happens to be the east bedroom window. This happens to be the kitchen window. And again, all of our lintels are rusting. And then the same thing, we've got the gaps between our door casements. And the brickwork. The ground is dry and pulling away from the foundation. That's pulling away. This right here, that's the primary, that's the secondary, not the primary, the secondary drain pipe for the indoor air heater. Which looked like it was about a year old. I got to check that when I get home. I got to double check that. So it was a 1 year old on a 7-year-old house, but I see all the rust inside of here, and there was not rust in the other pan. Up in the attic, and so it tells me that the unit was probably replaced, and because it's spitting out rusty water. Just saying. Moving on along. That's fine. I'm having some trouble because I think the clothes dryer vent goes through. So is that the kitchen vent? What vent is that? But look at all the dust on it. It's clogged up. If that's the clothes dryer vent, it looks like clothes dryer vent. That's supposed to have a screen. That's the fresh air induction vent, isn't it? That's the fresh air induction vent for the air conditioning system. You're not getting any fresh air into your house because that's covered. That's what that is. I knew I'd figure it out eventually. We got a whole video about this and this. We got a whole video about the grounding rod that's not properly buried, and the meter should be sealed, and we got a whole video about that. Erosion. And these little circles that you see, these are cable ends. Those are the pockets for the tension cable ends. That's a good thing. Now over here on the termite report, see this crack on this shrinkage crack? Now that's conducive because I can't see up in there. That's conducive to termites. Okay. Our exterior light fixtures, they should be sealed. The wall sconces, they should have been sealed. Our brickwork is pulling away from our